G'day all, my name's Tony and Steve has allowed me recently to upload several scripts and indicators and I put them in the miscellaneous section, as some of you might have noticed, and I thought I'd do a brief, hopefully it's going to be brief as it is my first video, so bear with me, just on the basics of how to put scripts and indicators within your MQL4 folder on your platform, and to use them and their usage and how they work and how they can improve our trading. So first thing I'll do will be to open up my platform. So I'll open that up. I'm using my laptop and it's a little slow, so apologies for the delay. Okay, so we're open. I use a Global Prime is my broker. They're in Sydney and they're very, very good. They're very low spreads, but they charge a small commission, but they're very transparent in what they do and there's no lies with them, which I like. So anyhow, I'm not going to talk about them here. I just want to start from scratch. So I'll open up, as you can see, my indicators is already open and it's got the default ones that come with the platform, nothing else. I've deleted everything else, and in the scripts, same deal, just the examples. So what we do is we go up to the file. It's the first thing you do. Open the data folder. We can close that down now, our platform. So we only need the data folder at this stage. And now we open up our helpful scripts and indicators folder. And I'll put the indicators in first. All you have to do is just open it up by double clicking, highlight the lot, right click in the middle, copy, go back to the MQL4 or your platform data folder and open the MQL4 folder. This has all your indicators, experts, scripts, projects, everything like that in it. The only things we need to worry about at this stage is just indicators and scripts. So I copied the indicators, opened it up by double clicking, right click anywhere in the white area, paste, and there they are. If I go back, I'll open up the scripts area, go back to this one, and helpful trading scripts. By the way, I didn't create any of these scripts. I have modified a couple. I'm not really a coder, but I do tinker from time to time. So we copy those back into our scripts just to double check. Terminal, that's the number of your terminal, MQL4 scripts folder. Right click in the white area, paste, and they're done. So now that they're done, we have to reboot the computer. So we just close this. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. We have to reboot the platform, not the computer. So I can close that down now, I don't need it. So back over to my platform here, I'll open it. Can you have a sleep while waiting for this to open? It does take a little bit longer when you've changed files around, so just bear with it. There we go. So now, if we open our indicators folder, there's those scripts. Sorry, apologies, there's those indicators. And we open the scripts folder and there's the scripts. So now, first thing I'll do, I think I'll go through what will I do first? I'll start with one indicator because this is really handy at the beginning if you wanted to set up a, let's say up here you want to set up a profile. Like I've got this under education for obvious reasons, and say you want to call it price action or something like that, or like I've got Steve's one here. If I click that, all of the charts will open up. I'll do it just for argument's sake. Well, they should open up. Oh, maybe I've deleted it because it's a demo account I have. So apologies for that. We'll go back to this. Okay. Yep, no worries. So anyhow, and you want to start afresh. So what you do is, the first thing we've got to do is use this open charts in alphabetical order indicator because it's very, very handy. It'll do the whole lot at once for you, save you doing one at a time. So the first thing to do is open up a chart. It doesn't matter what chart. Now, when I open up a chart with this broker, it's defaulted on the 1 hour, which really doesn't matter, as I'll show you what we can do. When we drag it on, just click OK, and here's all the currency pairs available. It doesn't have gold or silver or anything like that, but we don't use gold or silver here anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, now that's open, we can change the time frame. So we like to use the 4 hour time frame. So if I hit 4 hour, it's changed it over here. So now all of these currency pairs will be automatically opened in the 4 hour chart, which is really handy. Now the other thing is, let's say we don't want this one, we just click on it to highlight it or blank it out, and we don't want, I don't know, this one. It'll open up all the rest, and except for those two, which is also handy. So you can pick and choose. You might only want to, let's say for the, if you're 1 hour trading or 15-minute trading, you might only want to use 5 currency pairs. So you can pick and change which currency pairs you want, and it'll do those all in alphabetical order for you. So it's really handy. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll open it up. Now, for some reason, I've had a look on the code and I can't see anything wrong with it, but it'll say MetaTrader has stopped working, and it just does this for some reason. So all you've got to do is just close the program and reopen it again. And you'll find that under that education folder that I created, it should have all of the pairs that we selected, less the 2 that we didn't select. I do hope I'm not going too fast, as this is my first time in doing this, so please bear with me. And if you have any questions, you can always post them, and I'll get back to you. Okay, as you can see down the bottom here, the first one is the one that we used as our demo one, just to open up all the charts. So we don't really need that anymore. So we can close that. So just by right-clicking, close it, and it's gone. Now, the other thing too, you can tile all of these so they're all in order. And let's say this is what I did. What I did is I picked all the currency pairs that Steve uses, and I now use, and I just opened them up like this, and just one by one, I just moved them up like this, the way I like them, and just carried on, you know. So that's another way of doing that, and you can make them as long as you like, carry on, and there we are. So when we minimize, we're back to them. So I'm not going to go through all that now. It's just I did that just for argument's sake. So I'll just open up the first one. Now, what we want to do, let's say you've got a particular template that you've already set up or you want to set up. What I do here is, if you've got one already set up, the easiest way to bring it up is to right-click anywhere in the middle of the chart, go to Templates, and bring up the particular chart you want, or the template. So in this case, I'm going to use the plain chart I've got here because I like the color coordination. You know, it's easy on the eyes, and for me anyway, so I can see. I think the background's linen, the color. Yeah, so I've changed the background and just change a few things around. Often I'll change the foreground too, and that's, if you want to change anything like this, that's within your foreground here. You can make it black if you like it to be bold and stick out, and there it is. But I think I had it at slate grey, which is, where is it? There it is. I open it. Yeah, it's just it's a bit quieter. I just like the candles to stick out at me, and that's pretty much it. And my trades. Okay, so that's that. Now let's say we want to transfer that to all of these charts at once. Well, I mean, if you do it manually, it's going to take you ages to go through all those charts. So this is where our script called the change template all is very, very handy. I'll just move that over a little bit. What I've done also with all of these scripts is I've set them at set hotkeys for them. Especially, that's really, really handy, especially for the close open trades, just in case you make a mistake and you've got to close a trade really quickly, or you've got to open one really quickly. Sometimes the market doesn't give us time to set up and we want to get in there right now. So that's very handy for that, and also the buy and sell scripts. So back to the template, all we have to do, for the hotkeys I should say, is you just right click on whichever template you want to set a hotkey to, set hotkey. For this instance, I've got all mine set like this. Now, my buy and sell scripts are control 1 and 2, which is easy for me, and it doesn't interfere with anything else on the keyboard. All the rest of them, I've got them set here, which is, the M and the Y really aren't any relation to the template or the time frame, but they're the only ones that were over that I could use. So anyhow, that's how you set that, and it makes life easy. So I'm not going to worry about doing the keys here, because it's just easy for me to just drag it across to show you what happens. So we'll start with that. Yes, now, the other thing I had to say too, when we open up our template, see here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. In actual fact, this is template 0, this one's 1, this one's 2, and this one's 3. So not to be confused, because you need a number to bring up for your template change. So I'll show you here, for instance, I'll just have a quick look at that. Which one was it again? I want to do a plain chart. So that would be 1, 0, 1. So I come back over here, drag on change template all. It's defaulted to 0, so I just double click on it, hit 1, and click OK. And voila, doesn't matter which currency pair, look at them, they're all your favorite template, all done in a matter of 1 second. So it's really handy like that. So now we've done that. Now the next thing would be the time frame. Let's say we want to change all the time frames to the 1 hour. We drag across our change time frame all. Now this is all in minutes. So when you can't put 1 hour or 4 hour in, you have to put 60 minutes, 240 minutes for 4 hour, or 1440 minutes for the daily. So just for argument's sake, we'll make it 60 minutes. So we hit 60. As soon as we click OK, we watch down here. See there, H4 all the way along? We click OK, and now they're all H1. So it makes life easy. So what I'll do now will be, I'll come back to them afterwards. I'll show you those two, because I want to have a pending trade open so I can cancel it and show you what happens. So I'll go back to the 4 hour chart. I'll just hotkey that, which is 240. Okay, so now we're back on 4 hour. I'll try to find a half decent chart that we're not all up the top of the page. Everything's moving really nicely. I should be trading right now, but it doesn't matter. It's a good thing about trading. You can trade when you like, because there's always another opportunity just around the corner. Oh, geez, look at that. All right. Anyhow, that was the. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'll just use this one. This will do. Sorry for not being decisive. This is much better. Okay, now we've got space. So hypothetically, we've got a bounce point here, or let's say, yeah, well, let's say here, and we think it's going to go down. I've got another bounce point here. Let's say now, something else you can do too, I'll just close this for the time being so I've got a bit of room, is if you don't want to muck around with the lines being all crooked like that, you can right click on the trend line properties and just copy the top one to the bottom one and paste it. Because the top one, that's your first value, is your first value that you start with. And the second value is the other value over here. So once you hit OK, it makes it nice and straight. Just, I'm a little pedantic, I guess. Oh, that one's already done. That was a fluke. So now we can right click that and we unselect. So they're done. So now we want to do a pending sell order. So we'll put our stop up here. Now we want to add 5 pips to that. So I right click, Fibo properties, and down here we add, this is always the stop by the way, we need to add 5 pips. So that'll make that, I'll just mention that the last character at the end, or digit, is 1/10. So we just disregard that at this stage and we just make it like, I think Steve likes to round up, so he would round it up to 43. But what I usually do is I just go back here and just add that was 42. As you can see over here, 429. So I usually just add 5 to this, like that, and make it 479. So when I click OK, there's my 5 pips added. And now I bring this up like we always do to, like we all know how to do, I should say. There we go. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to set a pending order. So I might just close this up a little bit. I've only got a small screen, just so we can see the screen better. Okay, so now I want to do a sell script. So I drag it onto the chart. Now you'll notice here the first thing is lots. Now if you click use money management to false, it will go off whatever lots you set here, and that will be a fixed lot then. But I like, as we do within Steve's system, we use our risk percentage. So I've got mine set to 2.5 here because I've got a smaller account, so I feel a bit more comfortable with 2.5 rather than 3. But that's a personal preference, and it's irrelevant for this at the moment. So the most important thing I want to say here is that what this script does is it automatically sets your percentage in lot size for you. So, and what I've done with the code is I originally got these from, I think, Forex Factory. I downloaded them and they worked off the balance of your account. But unfortunately, if you have more than one trade open, that'll be incorrect with your lot size, because if it keeps going off your balance and you haven't had any profits to increase your balance, for example, I'll just open up this just to show you. See here, here's our equity and here's our balance. Now if we've got an open trade, as you know, if we're in the red, our equity will be down, but nothing will change in our balance until the trade is finalized. So what I've done with these scripts is I've changed the code in it to use from the equity. So what will happen is if you've got a trade open, the second trade that you place will go off your equity. So it'll adjust according to what's left in your equity, which is good if you've got many winning trades too, because your equity would be higher. So you have a higher lot size. So that's just something that's quite handy about it too. Don't worry about the trues here. That's only if you want to only trade. Let's say you didn't want to have a take profit. You only wanted to stop loss. You just put your take profit to false. But for this purpose, I naturally leave them both to true. Now, the important thing to remember here is that this is in points. The stop loss and the take profit is in points. So there are 10 points to 1 pip. So this is actually 30 pips and 60 pips, or 300 points and 600 points. So it's really important to remember. So the way I trade, and to keep things simple, is I use a little calculator that comes with your Windows 8.1 if you're running Windows 8 or 8.1. I'm not sure whether 7 has it, as I've never had Windows 7, but it has a built-in calculator, so I think most of them do. So what I do is, for this particular trade, I need to subtract the entry from the stop to give me how many pips. So I just disregard the decimal point in the prices here and just put the whole number in. For example, I'll have, for the stop, 100,479 minus the entry, which is 100,260. When I hit enter, we've got 219, or 21.9 pips. So that 219, we just transfer straight over here, 219. Okay, now for those who may not like math too much, you can just easily come back to your calculator and multiply it by 2 and hit enter, and there's your take profit. So, what was it? 448, wasn't it? 438. So we put our 438 in here. Now, let's say we want to make a trade at market price. All we do is click OK, and it will take it at this market price now, which is 1.007275. So it'll take it at that market price. But we don't want to do that. We want to put a pending either limit or stop order in. So what we do is we put our entry in, which is, and you have to put the price in here, so you've got to make sure you put the decimal point in, 1.00260. And once we click OK, there you have it. The only problem is, you know what I've done wrong there? I've actually put a buy limit in. I should have dragged over the sell. So what we can do now, I've made a mistake. I'm glad I've done it in front of you so you can see what happens. Now all I need to do is just drag my delete all pendings on this chart over here. Drag it on, click OK, bye-bye pending order. If you use this one, delete all pendings only script, let's say you've got 4 currency pairs that are open with pending orders on there. If you click that one, it will delete the whole lot on every chart that you've got open. So be careful of that. I mean, that's handy if you want to do that and just leave, say, your trades that are already open and delete the pendings. But in this particular case, we only wanted to delete the pending order for this particular chart. Okay, now I've said all that and shown you that. Let's go back and do what I wanted to do, which was place a sell order, not a buy order. Okay, so same thing again. It'll probably be still in my calculator. So we'll just, what's that? I'll divide it by 2. Yeah, that's right, 219 over here, 219, and it was 438, wasn't it? 438. And then we don't click OK. No. We put our price in, or our entry, 1.00260. And when we click OK now, that looks better. Now we've got our stop loss 5 pips above the last swing or the last bounce, and our take profit down here. Now, if you have a look over here, because it was only 21.9, let's say 22 pip stop loss, our risk percentage is, well, no, not our risk percentage, I should say, our lot size is 0.57 or $5.70. So you can see how that's actually gone in as a sell. That's taken that order. If I come up here, yeah, that's actually selling now. So that's going. You can see there's the commission of my broker. And I'll show you something in a minute. I'll come back to that. So, okay, now let's say I want to, fortunately in Australia, we're allowed to hedge. And I know many brokers and the American government, I don't know for what reason, they don't allow you to hedge trades, which, you know, I mean, not that we do hedging here, but if you wanted to hedge, it's nice to be able to do it. So I'm going to show you a possible hedge, which will be going in the opposite direction. Well, no, I won't do that. I'll just put another pending order in just to show you. Let's just say I'll put it up here firstly, just to show you what happens with the pending order. So I'll put the sell script in. I won't worry about setting it properly. I'll just put the entry in, that'll do. Oh, I can set it properly, can't I? Let's do it properly. Okay, what was it, 219 and 438. I shouldn't be lazy, should I? Okay, and now the new entry is 1.00312. So now when we put that in, here's our, see, it's automatically same lot size, but it set a limit order. Now let's say, because it's above the existing price, let's say we wanted to put another pending order in here. I know this looks messy, but it's just for argument's sake to show you exactly what it does. So we put our 21.9 pips there, or 219 points, and our 438 points, or 43.8 pips. Put our new entry, which is 1.00179, hit enter, and oh, where is it? That's interesting. Why didn't that work? Maybe I cancelled it. Oh no, I was thinking about it. It just took a while to think about it. Okay, here it is here. So you can see that little script automatically works out for you whether you need a sell stop or a sell limit order, and it saves time. So what I'll do now, I'll show you quickly what we can do. I'll just cancel those pendings by a hotkey. My hotkey is Alt P for pending, and I just hit OK, and all the pending orders are gone. It's just left now the current open order. Now if I want to close that, I can easily do Alt A, which is my hotkey for close all open trades. But you've got to be careful too. If you've got I don't know, half a dozen currency pairs open with trades that are existing, you'll close the whole lot. So keep that in mind when you do it. So it's like a what would you call it? Like a bomb. It gets rid of everything. So anyhow, having said all that and driven you crazy with my waffling on, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the indicators. Now the first one, the reason why I wanted to leave that on there is because I wanted to actually, no, I'll create another one. I'll get rid of that. So that's gone. So what I wanted to show you here, I'll just open this up a bit more. This is the market info. This is really handy just to let you know what's happening. Like for instance, if I close that up and I want to have a look at what currency pair I'm playing with, I've got to look up here and it's that size. Now, you know, I'm getting towards my mid-50s and I wear glasses, and my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. So this is where this comes in handy too, because when you put the market info on here and set it at OK, I'll just give you a quick overview of this. This moves the indicator up and down. Let's say you want it in a different spot. And I've actually changed the code in here. When I downloaded it from Forex Factory originally, it was defaulted to the right-hand side of the chart. But unfortunately, all of your trades and everything, it gets in the way of where you're working. So I changed it. It's only a matter of putting false, because it's got top right of chart true, and I just put false, and then it automatically goes to the left. So when I put it on, this is how it looks. So you can see I've got the Aussie CAD in nice big writing. I could make that darker if I want by going to the indicators here, market info, which I just loaded on, and changing it to say whatever color I want. Open that up, make it dark blue if I want to. Hit OK. Now it's dark blue, so you can see it clearly. So that's that. You've got the current price, as you can see it moving frantically. Now you've got the spread here. It's fairly low for a cross currency. That's what I like about Global Prime. I'd rather pay the extra commission and have low spreads. It also shows you your daily high and daily low. So for instance, I bring this on, market open here. Our daily high was 640. Okay, must have opened a bit lower than that. And the swap low, oops, wrong one. The low for the moment, it's that lowest point, is that 99. Now that's interesting. That's actually not working. I must have a look at that. That's incorrect. I wonder if I put it on another chart, whether it'll say the same thing. Market info. No, it hasn't. No, it is working. So it should be, there's our, that's where the market opened. There's our high up here, which is where we're at. 850. Oh, that's probably about right. Let's just drop back a bit. No, that's probably about right. And over here, the low, I probably just didn't have it as low as I should. 824. That's got 84. That's actually got 47, isn't it? 87, 492. Well, anyhow, I'm rambling on again. So maybe the well, yeah, actually, if you have a look, this is what I'm missing. Is it's gapped. What am I looking for? From here, that was the market close of the day before. It's gapped to there. The market close, 860. Yeah. So anyhow, look. To make a long story short, I apologise for what I've been doing. I'll actually leave it on that one now. This is nice and clean. Yeah, it also shows you how many minutes are left in the 4-hour candle until the next open. So we've got 160 minutes until the next candle open. The swap long and the swap short's handy to know too, especially if you're if you've got a trade open and it's going over a period of days. Like some swing traders might have one trade that goes for over a week. And if you've got a swap short of $8.20, it's going to really chew into your profits. So, you know, it's good to know up front what your swap is. Fortunately for the Aussie yen, if you had a trade and it went overnight, yeah, it's $2.10 with each day that passes. So it actually makes money for you. So that's a little handy point. So that's that particular indicator. Now, I have my charts set up like this. Now, see how I've got second window here? The default of this P4L clock is to the normal open chart, but it gets in the way. So I I changed the code to make it its own second window. So when I put it on the chart, it'll open up in a second window down here, and I just move this down to just above the brokerage, the broker time. So these are the ones I like to have open. See, the Sydney's market's closed. Now the Frankfurt market's open. I'm in Queensland, so at my time it's 5 o'clock it opens, and the London market opens at 6 p.m. So that's why that's highlighted. In another 25 minutes, the London Open will be highlighted too. It's just handy to know what's open and also what time it is everywhere else. So that's why I have that there, and also to give me a second box down here to use. Now in that second box, I've got a real handy little thing over here. It's a Forex Factory calendar. Now when I put it in here, I'll close it up to give some space. Now it's letting me know the next major news event that's coming up. Now I never trade the news because I mean that'll just burn holes in your pocket. But I do like to know what's coming up, because sometimes, like especially NFP Friday, you might have a trade open and it might be worth weighing up getting out of the trade before NFP starts, because we all know what it does to the market. I mean, it's, it can move 100 pips in seconds. So it's nice to know what's coming up in advance. Now, the original indicator had all of the currency pairs on it, and I changed it so it would only see the currency pair that you're using. Because I mean, really, if you're looking at the Aussie yen and you're seeing a pound news event coming up here, it's useless to you. You really only want to see Aussie news or yen news. So, and also here, highlighted in green is the very low impact event, and I think it's dark orange or orange is a medium impact, and red is the high impact. And I only ever use the high impacts. Most of the other ones don't really impact the market at all. So that's that, and this is basically how I have my chart set up. I might even have some volume down here. Actually, I think I've got my template set. Here it is. So that's my template I use every day. So if I click that on, that's how my chart's set up. So now, let's say we've got this one. We're over here and we want to change it to a new template. We can go to our templates and go, okay, 0, 1, 2. So I come back over here, or I use my hotkeys, open my scripts. This is why hotkeys are so much easier, because you haven't got to keep opening and closing all these all the time. And I just go to my change template all, and it was number 2, wasn't it? Hit 2, click OK. And I can close this maybe. No, not yet. Still thinking. It might take a little while because there's a lot of info that's going over a lot of charts. So, it might take there we go. It's done. So now any chart, if I go back to this tool up here, you'll see that any chart I want to pick is already set. So how I've got you see, this is what I was saying about the news events here, because we've got the British pound yen. It's got all the British pound news events that are coming. Actually, they're coming up today. See, 2 hours and 5 minutes. So retail sales is on tonight. So it's good to know if you're in a trade whether it might. Sometimes it actually enhances the trade. The last couple I've had, the news events come out, and I've got my +2 quite easy. So although, as you know, I'm very, very new here and I'm still learning. So I really need to go through everything again and again and again to make sure I know it all. But all of you in the forum have been really wonderful and very helpful. So I'm very grateful for that. And this is why I wanted to contribute a little to help everybody else out too, because to make our life a little easier. Because as you know, when we're in a hurry to place a trade or get out of a trade, we want to do it as quick as possible. We don't want to be mucking around, working out, time zones or not lot sizes, etc., etc. So okay, so back to everything else. Now that's that chart set up. Now I've got something else here. It's really handy if you want to know all of your current trades, what you've done, that sort of thing, and also the percentage for each day of your income. So what I'll do is I'll open up a new chart. This will do, because we don't care what's on the chart. What we want to do is we want to firstly create a blank chart. Now what I do is I open up the no, I don't open up the template, do I? No, I open up the properties. Now I like it's not quite turquoise, it's more of a teal background, but teal is a bit too bright for me, so I make it a darker background. I go down to custom colors and I just drag this down until it's a nice dark background. I hit add custom colors, click OK. That's now my background. I may even make it a little darker than that actually. So I come back in, see how it's got the number here? So custom again, I'll just make it a little dark. There, that's it. Let's try that one. That's better. Okay, so that's the background now. So now what we want to do here to make a blank chart is double click to highlight it, right click, copy, and just double click and paste. You know, highlight and paste. Everything else out that's here. And by the way, forgive me if this seems too basic for anybody who's more advanced. I just thought I'd cover everyone. You know, sometimes these things aren't said, and it's mundane questions that often people don't ask because they are mundane, and not many people want to discuss boring things like this. But that's why I wanted to put it into a video and just cover as many aspects as I could while I'm here. Okay, we'll click OK, perfectly blank screen. So now we right click. I've already got it saved here, but we save template and we put it on a blank chart. Done, so that's there for when I want it. Now, what we're going to create here, we're going to go over to, I'll just close our scripts. Oh, by the way, the difference between a script and an indicator, a script is something that you can only use once. Once you change the time frame, change your currency pair, whatever, it automatically finishes. So it's only a one-time usage, whereas an indicator stays with the chart all the time until you delete it. So, okay, back to what I was saying. First thing I'll put up is our iProfit tracker, very handy. Don't worry about any of these settings, you just press OK, and there it is. This is what I've done on the demo account today, just mucking around, opening, closing trades. But it tells me today what's happened, in the coming days, previous days, over week, monthly, quarterly, yearly. So that's like a handy little device there. Here's your pips. So for today, I've lost 4.7 pips, $21.32, and it's 0.43% of my balance, or my account, my account balance. Okay, the next thing is the trade report. Now this one you've got to change the inputs because you need a date. So what I've done for mine is I've just gone up here to the year, gone to 2017, made it from February the 1st because I joined, well, I made it from February the 1st because I really don't trade January because it's, you know, it's a bit all over the place when the year is getting started. And I've just made it to the end of the year, 2018. So basically 2019. You can do 1 month if you like. If you want to keep track of just 1 month, that's fine. Excuse me. Just have a quick drink of water. Oh, Steve, I pity you. I realise what you go through now. We're talking so much and making these videos. Anyhow, okay, so when I click OK, here it is. I'll just close this up. And that's how it looks. Now, these are all the things that I've done mucking around today. It tells me what the lot sizes, buys and sells, what profit I've made, what losses, also the net pips and the net profit or loss. Now, I really don't like that color. So what I do is I just go back into it, trade report, edit. I prefer turquoise. It's just better on my eyes. And so here's the color scheme. They're all down here. You can either use the arrow or double click. So turquoise I've picked. Click OK, and that looks a bit better. I like it anyway, but you adjust it to your own preference. Okay, now the last thing here is the trade chart. And I don't know why it's called trade chart 2. I didn't design them, but it's maybe it's the second one to that. I don't know, but what you've got to do is also change the date on this one. It only has like the beginning date, so I'm just going to start at the beginning of the year. So I'll just make it, 2017. Click OK. Now, with this one, this whole system works better off the 5-minute. Now, as you can see down here, it shows the current equity. So if I had a couple of trades open, that would be less than the balance over here because they're yet to be finalized. So it shows you what I started with. My maximum equity was 5,000. That's where I opened a demo account with. And it just shows you my drawdown, which is 1.6% of my account. Because pardon me, I've had no wins at all, and my total loss here is 21.32. So I just like that. I usually save that to a template, and I call it just profit tracker. Or you can call it whatever you like, as long as it reminds you what it is. So I've saved that. And what I usually do is I'll open up a currency pair that I'll never use in a million years. So something like Euro, SEK, that'll do. And then I just right click and click profit tracker, and there it is. Put it on 5 minutes. So that's the other thing too. Let's say hypothetically I might have this here. Actually, it's all the way over here now. I'll bring it all the way to the left, so you can drag that across and bring it down here. So it can be right in the beginning. It's not mucking up with the trades that we're using. Because all of these are our currency pairs. So that's just our info, if you like. So that's just a little 3-handed little indicators. They just let you know what's going on. I'm one of these people that I just need to know everything that's going on with my account, because it's my live account, it's my money, and I need to know. And I don't, sometimes you can forget things and make mistakes. So that's about it, I think. I know I've rambled on a lot. It's probably been well over half an hour. I think I've covered everything. Yes, yep. And we've done all the scripts. Buy and sells, template all, yep, all done. So that's gone from scratch basically. We had no scripts or indicators in our platform. We put those in. We've set up templates for your charts, and we covered pretty much everything. So all right. Happy trading, everybody, and I hope I haven't bored you to death. Take care, and I'll see you in the forum from time to time. Bye for now.